So I'd be remiss if I didn't start off talking about Brother Chet Williams. Just a tragic loss for Auburn family. Chet impacted hundreds of student athletes and coaches, fans, staff members. He was the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. And people came from all over the country to learn from Brother Chet Williams how to do FCA the right way. He was an icon. I know that Coach Freeze really embraced Chet's ministry, and my heart goes out to his family and our football program. I know the loss affects Coach Tuberville, Coach Malzahn, and the entire Auburn football family, and the athletic program, because he was a good friend. So this is a game tonight, one of really two games without our students here. And so, believe it or not, there are tickets available online, some standing room tickets, and there's folks who have taken advantage of the standing room opportunities before. They will allow people to move down into the seats if they're not being sat in, and the student area is a sort of a first come first served situation. So I would encourage people not to wait to the game day but actually to go online now and pick up those tickets. Obviously, the league is off to a historic start, with 5 teams in the top 10, and then interestingly enough that the 3 other teams that happen to not be in the SEC, Duke, Iowa State, and Houston, we've played 2 out of 3. We've beaten 2 out of 3. So we've got a lot of tough games ahead of us, and but very proud of our league to be enough to such a great start. Georgia State is a talented team, a very well coached team. They play really, really hard. They've got sort of an SEC athlete caliber group of starters. They got great size, and they got a really good inside game. They got 2 posts. Their power forward is averaging a double-double, and their center is probably an even better scorer. So our front line will be challenged, along the lines of, say, a Memphis or a Iowa State. It's a very, very experienced roster with great speed and quickness and athleticism, and I think they're going to be. This is the Sun Belt. App State beat us last year out of the Sun Belt. Troy's having a great year this year in the Sun Belt. Arkansas State is probably one of the best teams in the Sun Belt. They beat a Memphis team that beat some pretty good teams out in Hawaii, including UConn and North Carolina. So it'll be a pretty fast-paced game. They play at a great pace, and we had them a couple years ago in here, and I think it was like 72-64, and they led for about half of the second half.
Bruce, you guys being 9-1 through 10 games, did you feel like you guys had the potential to get off to such a historic start like this with the way that y'all have played?
We just honestly take them one game at a time. We're still going to take them one game at a time. It's from the standpoint of, we're not reflecting on where we are right now. We are working on areas that we think we have to get better. To play the caliber of the schedule that we played and to be in a position we're in right now is certain everything I could have hoped for, but we got this one Tuesday and then we have Purdue on Saturday. So we've got and then the team that beat Kansas, Missouri comes in January. So I mean we're just again focused one at a time, but pleased with where we're at.
Could you talk about Dylan Cardwell and what he has meant and means to the program as a whole
Sure.
and to the team?
Well, I can tell you that Edwards and McMillan, they're two frontline kids for Georgia State. This is an opportunity to play against Dylan Cardwell and Janai Broom, and that is something that those two big guys are talking about, and I want our guys talking about it because Janai knows exactly where those two kids are coming from a standpoint of having been at Morehead State, knows how excited they are about playing, and they played well against Mississippi State. They both played well against Kentucky. We played against the McMillan kid when he played last year. He had 10 points on us. So our big guys know that this front line will be a challenge. I think Dylan's decision to come back this year, knowing Janai Broom was coming back, Janai made the decision pretty early on that he was going to come back, and then Dylan had a decision to make, and that was, do we think we can play together? Some, which we hadn't prior, because if I would not have played Janai Broom at power forward, Dylan would have probably, even though it's not something that would have been on his heart or something he wanted to do, he would have graduated and had a fifth year somewhere else where he could have been the starting center. But I told Dylan and Janai and Chaney last year, I said, I feel good about where we are. I do feel like Janai can play the four, and I'm committed to playing you guys together. And that was a big part of their decision to return and play together. The fact that Dylan is, one of the best defenders in college basketball, and Janai's playing really well defensively as well. But Dylan, he could be the defensive player of the year if this team keeps winning, because he blocks shots, he plays one-on-one on the post, can guard 1 through 5 again, just like Janai, and gives us great flexibility and physicality at his position. And of course, we all recognize that Dylan Cardwell is, there's a picture in some dictionary of an Auburn man, and you open it up and that picture's of Dylan Cardwell.
What is it about him that makes him that way, that he is?
I think the way he was raised, his mom is an incredible woman, and his uncle was a pretty good defensive coordinator here at Auburn for a bunch of years, and is now the defensive coordinator at Tennessee, Rodney Garner, a great Auburn man, and my heart's with Rodney today as well, because I know he and Brother Chet were very close. But Rodney's been a great role model for Dylan, and I know he's really proud of the way his nephew has developed here at Auburn.
Rich, you talked about that front court for Georgia State. The backcourt, Lane, Nutter have been really high scores and basically never come off the floor. What do they kind of bring to the table?
I mean, you take any one of those three guards. I mean, we looked at all of them at different times, both coming out of high school, Lane had 18 against us when he played at Winthrop. Nutt goes to the foul line 9 times a game. He's 6'7", and is a guy that can really make tough twos, and he's a really good athlete. And then the point guard, Malachi Brown, was a state champion in high school, and another. I'm always kind of favor those undersized guards. He's an undersized guard that I looked at and really thought hard about recruiting.
going off of that, you guys have gotten better this season defensively so far at preventing teams from going to the foul line. I know y'all have had some games with some foul trouble, but how much have you? I know y'all focused on that a ton in the preseason. Just how pleased are you with the progress there, at not
Yeah.
fouling as much?
Yeah, no, I think that what we've really focused on is trying to play as aggressively before shots are taken. But then once shots are taken, working really hard to not foul and to not come down, even blocking shots, just to not take tough twos, make them tough shots, but don't bail them out with a foul. And we've worked really hard at trying to do that, and for the most part, we've done pretty well. I'd say the other thing too about this is going to be is one of the more physical games we've played.
Miles Kelly, just curious what his update is after a couple days since Saturday.
Yeah, just got a little bang on his hand and got a little tape on it for some support. He'll be fine.
Any more questions for Coach?